You can regain mobility even when injured, but it won't come from passively relaxing into deep stretches that are actually likely to irritate your injury further. And so today I'm going to bring you through the stretching approach I use to go from being able to not even go past my knees stretching to getting to a full split, all while nursing active sciatica. And there's two main strategies that we're going to cover today, is the squeeze then stretch approach, and then implementing loaded stretching, not just passive yanking on the tissue. So when you're nursing a sensitive area of the body, it's going to become tight. As you just try to stretch it out, what's likely to happen, as we discussed, can irritate the tissue, but it's not the muscle getting irritated. It's probably the connective tissue of the fascia or the nerves within it. If we even think about why, when you try to stretch out a really irritated tissue, that it feels relieving in the short term, but it can actually go right back. You have to know what you're stretching with these different holds. For example, you can stretch your hamstrings in the longest position possible, straight like this. And now what are you stretching when you get into this? You're stretching the muscle belly, but you're also stretching the fascia and nerves. So as soon as you get into that, that's where the room for irritation and re-injury comes. Another way to stretch the hamstring is with a more bent knee hold of a long lunge, where here, because of the bend in my hips and knees, I'm getting way less stretch on the nerves and joints and way more straight to the muscle. And so we're trying to find stretching approaches that minimize how much we're pulling on the connective tissue and the joints, and then actively getting an intramuscular feeling of tension and getting more of that with less irritation to nerves. And so it's small tweaks. Today we got my friend Cal, who came into town, and he's going to be going through us in the flow. He's working through his own injuries and had some sensitivities as well to the hips, so it's going to be helpful to see him. Thank you for being here. Let's start. If we're trying to get to the outer hip, the first stretch I showed earlier, classic pigeon stretching, to go to the squeeze then stretch approach, what we're going to do, instead of going as deep as we can into this, we're going to go into the opposite. So the opposite of this external rotation stretch is deep squeezing and internal rotation to get a pump here first. I will grab a cable, a band. If you need to do the body weight version, we have the outer hip drop set we can put on screen, certain ISO holds. Just train a high rep set to get a pump in this exact area that we're about to stretch. And the whole point is, for any sensitive area in the body, there's the maximum range you could put yourself through at the joint to fully stretch on it. And then what if you get a pump to that area like we're doing right now? Now if you even go to 80% range, you're going to get the same tension within the muscle, but far less stretch on the connective tissue and the nerves, which is what we irritate when we're sensitive. Immediately after he's done there, he's gonna go into a loaded pigeon, like this. And so, if before doing the set, I don't feel any stretch unless I go deep into this position, now after getting it pumped up, if I even go to 80% and hold, it feels more difficult because of that fatigue and that pump that I had. So I'm maximizing the tension in the muscle and taking out a whole lot of need for the range. You're probably good on that. And immediately let's go into the left side. So let's go left leg in front, a normal pigeon position. And now what makes it strength is you're gonna take your back knee off the ground and then hold. Hold yourself upright in a hinge. You can have fingertips if you need, if you wanna make it easier, but otherwise we're trying to hold here, and you can hinge forward a little bit and load that front glute. So the second strategy we're using is the loaded stretch. So the first component, squeeze first, so that way it's pre-fatigued, it's pre-pumped. And now when you do stretch, go only into these stretches where you're actively holding strength positions. So you can see him shaking and jumping. I'm doing the same, that's because it's fatiguing out. So holding 1 minute at a hinge position, flat back. There's a huge difference from relaxing into a stretch like this and then actively holding yourself up 80% of the range, but with tension. This one's going to lead to the change. This one will just pull on your connective tissue and joints and further irritate it. So 1 minute here on each side. The goal is eventually keep the whole body flat. You should be able to take off your back knee super hard. We've been working on that. Okay, you're good.